Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Try Out Tuesday. I usually zoom in a little bit so you can't see how much mess there is, but you know, I think we might just have to embrace it. Okay. So let's have a look. How are we all? Tuesday comes around very quickly after a bank holiday, doesn't it? You feel like you've sort of lost a day. It's really bizarre. But there we go. We'll just give a chance for a few people to jump on and then we will get started. Hello, Alison. And Sammy's here, ready to go. We're alright. Hi, Sue. Well, feed me crackers and call me Polly. Okay, Polly. Alrighty. So tonight we're going to be doing some art journaling and we're going to be working in the Black Dina Wakley Media Journal, which I think can only presume I've got wet or something at some point because I've got some damage on the corner, but that's fine. I'll tape it and glue it and stuff at another time, but that's fine. Hi, Linda. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel like this has now got quite a few pages done in it and what have you. So I'm thinking we're now at the start at the beginning and work our way through stage towards completion. And very similar to my white one that I tried to get finished by the end of last year, what I did. This I'm going to give myself to the end of the year to do. There's quite a lot of pages still to go, especially at the back. There's none. But I think, yeah, like for example, there are 4 signatures in each of these books. And this is the last signature. Here you can see each signature is mixed in terms of what's in them. The only thing in this signature is that. There's nothing else in that signature at all. There's a couple of pages in this one, but it's the first 2 that have got the most. So I'm thinking we're sort of at the stage. See, that's a fabric one. Where we need to sort of start at the beginning, start working our way through. Because I'm trying to get some complete journals. That doesn't mean this will be the only one I work in, obviously. So what I did today, whilst I was I was really good and organised, and whilst I thought I'll get some prep ready, I did gesso this page. Now, I don't always gesso. I think we all know this. But as I thought, whilst I was formulating a plan, I might as well gesso it, and then whatever the plan was absolutely fine. So what we're going to be using tonight is we're going to be using the Doodle Art Mandalas and the Journaling Girl Bev to go on here. I'm also going to be using some of the new stamping tissue, which yes, I still haven't got on the website, but I promise it will be there soon. And some dilution sprays and some various other bits. So I will be going into this with, first of all, I'm going to get some, just to add some interest to the background, I'm going to go in with my charity shop complete works of William Shakespeare. So we're going to go through, and I'm feeling a little bit, ooh, what are we thinking? All's well that ends well. So we'll go. Now, if this is your first time here, okay, what I do is I go to charity shops and ask them for the books. Oh, I've got Timon of Athens. We'll take that as well. And ask for books that are damaged beyond the point of redemption because they can't and don't like to sell them. And then I donate money for these. And that way I'm not ripping up good books because that would make my heart hurt. But I can still use the pages. Alison, you finished your first journal at the weekend. You should do a little video run through. Because I would imagine you've got quite a lot of groovy things going on in yours. Okay, so I'm just going to take this out more of an angle, I think. I'll put that in there. Okay, so we're going to need some of our Collage Medium. Okay, and a brush. So I'm going to go to my Dina Wakley number 1. I did use this earlier, so it's a bit wet, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go there, put Act 5 on the edge with my Collage Medium. And like I say, the thing is, because I didn't know what I was doing, I did gesso this first, and it is quite a textured surface. So I think if you are stamping on it, you are best putting something down or stamping on collage paper or stamping tissue to do that. You're using a copy of the complete works of Shakespeare. It's so worn, the spine's gone. Yes, but believe it or not, I actually have 3 complete works of Shakespeare's that are actually used for reading. I don't know if it's just locational. I have 3 that are for reading, as well as the one that I use for this. And I think it's one of those. Maybe that's why I was fate got me this one to play with, because it knew I would never use one of my other ones. Okay, so we're just going to put that on there. Then I sort of have 2 bits, which I'm not a massive fan of. So I might just... Now, a lot of this is going to be covered. I'm going to knock it back with a little bit of gesso, I think. Just watered down, and then I'll give it a chance to... Well, that was a bit too much, but that's alright. Hello, Angie. So we're just going to put that on there. There we go. You always wonder how I pick what you paste in my journal. I think that the trick is, a lot of the time, is to force yourself to make the decision. Don't sit and fuss over it too much, because you will literally, you know, it just makes it even harder. It's just commit. Because, like I said, a lot of this I'm going to knock back anyway. The only time I'm really careful, if I'm using... I'm going to try and let that dry a little bit on its own. The only time I'm really careful when I'm using book sheets or things like that is if I'm on TV. And that's because, knowing me, if I didn't check them, I'd end up with a sweary word or whatever. Obviously, if I have a sweary word on here, I am very, very sorry if it offends anyone, but it's slightly less serious because it's mine. And you can tell me off if you want, but I don't. But I didn't print it. It's just there. I actually find it quite amusing. Oh, drop my trimmer. Okay. So, Sharon Ling. It's unusual to see you. Okay. So, I found my painted towel. Just going to spread this out a bit. So whilst this is drying, I'm going to get my Pretty Gets Gritty gesso. Just give that a little bit of a shake. This is the gesso I used to seal with. The one I had on my desky desk. So I'm just going to use the lid. I've just added a little bit of water to it. Okay, and we're just going to do I'm going to keep going. I just want to knock that back just a little. Just to give it a little bit of a thing. And then that's while that's drying, we can do some stamping. It's one of those things, I want to be able to know it's there, but it doesn't have to be completely legible, because there's ink and things to go on top as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put that to the side to dry a little bit whilst we do the next bit. 4:30 AM for Sharon, and she can't sleep. and having a coffee. I'm not sure that's the way to fix it, kid. Coffee when you can't sleep. But you know, you're a grown-up, so they tell me. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go on to some stamping tissue. Okay, and we're going to stamp on here with our Doodle Art Mandalas. Now, I will say I have done, like I was saying earlier, I have done a bit of prep for this one, okay? So I've done lots of these beautiful flowers. And these are from the centre of Sam's favourite mandala. And she shouldn't have favourites, really. But she does. From Sam's favourite mandala. Now, what I love about these is you can piece them together with other ones. You can build them up to make other flowers. You can cross them together. So, for example, you know, you could really sort of build up some fantastic super duper gerberas as well, because you could sort of offset them just slightly. So you've got the 2s there, then go again. So you've got 3. You know, you can really sort of build them up, and I think that's what makes these ones quite a lot of fun. But they are for later, and I have also coloured in a Bev. Okay, now everything, because I was working on a thing for a magazine today, so I was sort of led by that, which sort of got me to here. Everything has been coloured in using Dylusions ink. Okay, from my palette in a paintbrush, I've mixed together 3 colours, and that has created every single colour that's here. Okay, so because I got a yellow, well, it's Lemon Zest, Bubblegum Pink, and Blue Lagoon, the ones I used a couple of weeks ago. And now with a you know, with the primary colours, that does mean you can expand your colour palette. So if you are, you know, lots of us have to craft on a budget, and we're totally appreciative of that. So with your colours, if you can sort of pick 3, but they don't have to necessarily be 3 primary colours. We're pick ones from near that side. For example, I haven't picked a red, I picked Bubblegum Pink. Do you know what I mean? You know, but you could pick more of closer to an orange and that sort of thing if you wanted to. So it's all about, you know, keeping your options open and then building your collection from there, because I think that's the easiest way to do it. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our other mandalas. Okay, so I'm going to mainly use mandala set. I've lost my backing card. I'm pretty sure that's 2. Here it is. Yeah, so that one's mandala set 2. So this is it here. Now, what I love about this one, this is a really good mandala set for layering. So the flower we were just looking at came from this one here. This is on Mandalas 1. So yeah, you can see that's it on there. Okay, and this is why we love to use these so much, because it's hard to see everything that's in them. So that's the thing off 1. But for stamping on the stamping tissue, I'm primarily going to go with Mandalas number 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Super Skinny Slim, and we're going to stamp some mandalas on here. But very unlike me, what I'm going to try and not do is go over the edge. Okay, these are almost going to be sort of like background flowers. Okay, so we're going to do almost like a doodle art garden in a way, but not. I'm hoping this works as how I want it to, but you know, you never know, do you? You never know. That's that lovely one there. Here, and obviously stamping, getting the all the detail out like we're getting out now on the stamping tissue is really hard to do on that textured surface. So all I'm doing now is just basically trying to guarantee the result I want. That's basically all I'm doing. I'll put this. No, we will put this here. I already wish I'd thought this out a little bit better or more. But you know. That one's good. I might have to go to Mandala too. Mandala 1, sorry. Just pick off their little one. The little circly one. Because I think it might fit in there. That one needs cleaned. It's stopping sticking. And of course you could do this with all of your mandalas, basically how I've prepped. You know, you could prep a lot of them and do your garden that way. But I just got a bit carried away doing all the petals, to be honest. And in fairness, it would actually probably be easier with the rounder ones in terms of cutting out. So, you know, there is also that. Okay. So then I'll go here. So the super skinny slim I'm using is the 185 by 85. They're on the website individually or as part of the set of 4. And then we'll go, see, this is sort of the one I think that draws people in to mandalas too. But you can see there's so many good ones. And I was going to say, and there's 2 I haven't used at all. So we're just going to go in, I think, with that one there. Okay. And then we're going to heat set that. You can see there's a little bit of ink on my tissue there, but I'm not too worried. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to heat set that on because we are going to be adding water and ink and we don't want to get all the black ink to run. Okay, so how are we doing over here with the journal? You like engraving on the slims? You can see them on the desk with the engraving. Ah! Well, funnily enough, the engraving really does help with that, but it's also why I have, and I know lots of other people too do this, I have actually left the blue covering on. So when your super skinny slims come, they will have a blue, some have a white film on. And all you need to do is peel that off to make your slims completely clear. But if you leave the blue or white on, these really, it's easy. Okay, so the gesture one there's still a little bit wet, so I'm just going to give it a little thing before I go at it with more Collage Medium. Okay, and then we're going to get throwing all of our colour on. Okay. Okay. So then we'll go back to our Collage Medium. Sorry, I just made myself really nervous. I'd lost my Dina Wakley brush, but I cleaned it, wiped it and put it back in the jar. I mean, how was I ever going to find it? I mean, for crying out loud. If I start cleaning things and putting things back, you know, no one is going to recognise me at all. Right, so Collage Medium on there. And then we're going to go on with our stamped tissue. There you go. just need a little bit. You're cleaning what? I know. It did feel weird to even admit to it. Fibre. Okay, and then that there is now in as part of the page, which is very, very exciting. And the beautiful thing about your collage medium, so I've got the 2 fluid ounce distress collage medium here. Again, if you haven't seen it before, it dries completely clear. It also dries to a complete matte finish. So you don't have to worry about shine or resisting your paints or inks or whatever it is you're putting on over the top, if you are putting anything on over the top. So I have to say, it generally dries quite quickly. It depends how much you put on. For example, I've put on quite a lot here, so we're just going to have to give it a second. So, you know, I'll mix it up. See, Alison, I totally believe you're tidy, to be honest. The amount you make, you would have to be. You'd end up in a right pickle. I thrive in the chaos. But there is a massive tidy up. I think the thing is, you just accrue so much, don't you? Right, so what I'm going to do is then, I'm just going to give that a start. Because now we want to start getting some ink on. Okay, but I don't want to heat it too fast. Just get it dried down a little bit and then I'll really go to town. You lose things when you're right in front of me. Oh, well I do too, Noreen. You've been on these lives before and I've gone, right, can anyone see my pen? You know, the one I was literally just using. Because that's how we roll in the Shire. Sam has lost her collage medium. There we go. I knew I'd got too much medium on and got it too wet. Yeah, so this new stamping paper, which will go on the website this week, I swear. This stamping tissue. It's not as weighty as collage paper from Dina Wakley. We're not saying that at all. It's just but it is heftier than like just regular tissue paper. So we thought it'd be like a happy medium, both technique wise and financially. To be honest. Right, okay. There we go. I've been patient enough for long enough now. Right, okay. So we're going to do some colour washing over these. It's going to be quite loose. And I'm going to get this brush. Okay, it's a little bit long and flowy, but it's just a daily roundy one that I've obviously left in my water at some point because it's fallen apart. Okay, so I'm going to put some water in the middle of these and then we're going to start adding in. So I have several here with the sorry, I keep losing my words, don't I? With the dilution spray in them, but I have spent most of the day mixing them, like I said, for another project as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit on these. Okay, so let's go with some yellows first because they're fun. And then we'll do some yellow dots in here. Like a wash around this one. And then around the middle of that one. Okay. You can always choose to drop a bit of water in, wash them out just a little bit and bring it round all the way round. Don't worry if they come around the outside a little bit. That's absolutely fine, because we'll probably be taking some of this in a bit and doing flicky flicks too, so we don't need to worry about that too much. Okay, and I've got quite a bit of blue up here from earlier that hasn't dried. Now if you do put your dilutions in a palette, okay, and or in your Tim Holtz palette, I can't find my Tim Holtz palette, so you can do that in your Tim Holtz palette. Leave them to dry. Don't wash them away, don't waste them. Leave them to dry, because they will reactivate for you. Okay, so you can come back and use them again. Okay, so I won't put any blue in the other two. And then I think I've still got, there's a pink. I've still got any pink left? I don't think I do. Where's my bubblegum pink? Okay, which magazine won? When they print? I actually don't know. It's just which, if I'm allowed to say. Just a card making magazine. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to use my bubblegum pink. And we'll go in here. You see, that's going to start to mix some of the yellows. And then we'll go up. Peek around the outside on this one. But if you use your bubblegum pink, like straight from there, it's actually really sort of deeply coloured. Now this is quite, because this is so coated, it's still coming out bubblegum pink. But if I just get, for example, I'm just going to grab this piece of card, right, with the bubblegum pink, it actually comes out quite dark. Okay, and that's why, you know, you can use your pinks as your primary and then sort of mix them up. So for example, so I better finish that now. But as you see, if I start to just let it work its way down the brush, it gets paler the more you move around. So you can sort of tone with it as well, which is quite cool. Okay, and then of course you can then mix with your blue. I'll go a bit purpley in there. I think it's going a bit washy actually. A bit stronger than that. There we go. Okay, now what I do want is I want a green. Sort of wash now, because I have, again, because we have gessoed and collage mediumed and all sorts of things across the bottom of here. If you want to add more water to it, you can, because it's not going to soak in and run away. So we can sort of create a bit of a... And then we'll go the blue up here. Okay. And then I'm going to spray quite a bit of water on that one actually. Come down and into here. This is not my usual sort of thing at all. Quite pleased with it. Just going to work in, around. Don't worry about being too particular. It's okay. There's still other things to go on yet. Down. You see, it's pulling in all those different inks we've been using. What we're doing is we're still just background building and having fun. And this is a great way to have a play with your mediums, see how they move when you use them in different ways. For example, not spraying your dilution sprays, instead painting with them. Okay, make it a sort of watercolour. Go into that one with a bit of a pink. And I think, where's this one? It's another green. There we go. Oh, that one's nice. Okay. Now, the thing with dilutions, especially now this is on a page that has been gessoed and got the collage medium on it, if you go back in this with water, it will reactivate, okay? So if you don't want to do that, I would advise you to seal it in some way if that makes you nervous in any way. But that's okay. Honestly, bear with me, because we're going to keep building. And we're going to bring some templates in. So has everyone else been crafting? Did anyone get a chance to do any crafting over the bank holiday weekend? And if you did, what did you get to do? Was it good? Was it fun? Okay, so you can see you get this lovely sort of mix of colours, giving it a really sort of watercolour effect, which is really beautiful. You've made this month's ATCs. Crikey, Shireen, you are ahead. Funnily enough, Sam said to me today that I'm going to go home and do this month's ATCs. I will do the swap partners. I'm so sorry. April was such a busy month, and let's just say May is not showing any signs of slowing down right now. It's just not slowing down, like, at all. Right. Some of these are still a bit wet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding in other stamps around there. Right, so we're going to start, again, building up some more pattern on here. So I have got, like I said, I've been using the Bev set, which is this one. So we're going to be using some of this, and I'm going to use this BU to create sort of a word element coming down this side. Okay, so I'm just going to use, I would like my border block. There it is. Okay, let me just try that bit in the top corner because I completely missed that bit. You did your blog page for Thursday, fantabulous. A nice restful weekend, that's good. That's good though. If you had a break, you needed a break, you needed that rest. Would you take? I think, if anything, that's something we should have all learned over the last few years, isn't it? Take a break when we need one. So, right, so I'm going to use this BU to just stamp in, but we're just going to keep stamping each time until we run out of ink. Okay, just to create, it's something I saw done years ago when I first started art journaling, and I really loved it, to create this sort of fading out text. And it's something, you know, we still do now, but it's one of those things I don't think I have done a lot of recently, which is silly. See, for me, that instantly looks better. It's starting to bring the page in, which is fantastic. Okay, now from there, I want to put my BU back on my laminate sheet so I don't lose it. That's what I'm going to do first. Then I think I'm going to take the stars, the hand-drawn stars here. I think they'll be really useful. So I'll take those, but I might add those in with some of my blueprint sketch. In fact, where's my prize ribbon? Oh, I was looking for it earlier and couldn't find it. I won't waste your time looking for it now. But I do think my prize ribbon would have been slightly better placed, because it's just a little bit. But that's all right. Sammy did say on Friday we have had some restocks of some of the newer colours. So if you were looking for prize ribbon, saltwater taffy, what are the other new colours? Villainous Potion, Salvage Patina, Speckled Egg. They've all been restocked on the website. Okay. We're going to go off there. And now I'm going to go to, well, that's Sammy. She's not who we were after. These borders designed by Sam. Now this one here, I mean, I've used them all repeatedly, but this one here I do like to use a lot. It's a really good definitive line. It's really solid. So even if you are stamping on a surface that is slightly uneven, like for example the cotton effect here, I think you're just more likely to get a nice definite thing. And something I do need to replace soon is my Versifying Clair. So hopefully those orders will stop being delayed soon and I can have one. So what we're doing is we're just turning these into like long stemmed flowers. I'll put that one there, and then just need a piece of scrap card. You just realised you haven't had dinner yet. Well, that's not very good, is it? There we go. And I think that's just going to be too thick for the other one, so I might doodle that in a minute. But in fairness, it probably won't be seen anyway. So then we're going to heat set that. Okay, and then using my white Sharpie, because I still can't locate my Posco. What's for tea? I had chicken Kiev in wedges. Potato wedges. I'm just going to fill in these white leaves, as they will now be. Obviously, it's not too bad down here because a lot of that green wash is sort of, I've watered it down too much, but that's okay. You don't worry about things like that. Okay, now I'm just going to add in some white dots. The white Poscas are on the website. That I actually prefer than the Sharpies because you have a more definitive tip for doing small detail work. But I can't find mine. Which means, and I have to say, generally, if I say I can't find mine of something, that means it's fallen off, bounced off my leg and gone under my desk, and I haven't gone under there to look for it. That's generally where it is. So, what's for tea? That's Sam's favourite question, you know. If you come to Chit Chat Friday with Sam, you need to know what's for Friday night tea, because she wants to know. And I have to say, that's not one of those questions she just asks. She really wants to know what's for tea. She's not just asking. She does want an answer. Okay. Now, just to reinforce this even more, I'm going to go for some alternate circles, 6x6 inkable. Okay, when I was doing my inkable stock take that I told you about a few weeks ago, I have 3 of these. So there you are. Fun fact. I have 3. Yeah. So, the Green household, Sammy's household, is a massive fan of cereals. Like, massive fan. But, you know, Mr. Mark Green has weird cereal habits. He's a strange man. Weird cereal habits. Actually, I am just going to do these in the green between the stems because I think that looks cracking. Fantabulous. Right, I think I had actually planned to do some texture paste and stuff, but I'm thinking with the things I have to stick on it and what's already there, that will probably be enough. So let me just move some things out the way. And get us back to some sort of thingy. Right, and then we can start. No, that's a blue one, so that's going to go. Start adding in some of the other flowers. Okay. So now I think, hopefully, it should all be becoming quite clear. And then I'm just going to stand there and admire what I've done. That's a lot of mandalas that I absolutely love, by the way. So, for those of you that were doubting me, and I know you were, and that's okay. You know, I had a moment myself. But this is why you keep going. And I have to be honest, one of the questions Sam and I are asked the most, how do you know when to keep going? Well, that's easy. I don't stop until I like it. So there are many times, many times, during pretty much every single project, I'm like, I don't like this, it's not working. And people are like, well, how do you keep going? Well, principally, how I keep going is that you guys are here with me, and I can't just say, do you know what, it's rubbish, I'll give up. Because that doesn't work. And I know, especially nowadays, I will say more so than anything, I do know I will love it. I actually will. I just need to get it there. Okay, so my advice, honestly, with your art journal or any of your crafting, to be honest, isn't, oh, you know, I know a lot of people say step back, walk away, and there does come a point where that has to happen. I totally agree. But on the whole, if you can, keep going. Keep going as much as you can until, because you might break the back of it, for want of a better description. Okay? And I do think, yeah, I agree with Shaz. I think most artistic pieces of everything go through an ugly stage. Do you know what I mean? Look at people. I'm kidding. Kidding. Sort of. So do you know what I mean? And what I love about this is, like I say, if I'm doing 2 pages that live together but are not a double layout, I like them to be quite opposite. And this page is absolutely full of colour. And this one has a focus and a big black and white element. And I think, whereas every single piece on this is full of colour. And I think that's the thing, it's making the decision to do it that way. And I did have a vague idea in my head of what I wanted this to look like. So basically I just kept going until it looked like it. And whilst I was waiting for inspiration to hit, I prepped all the bits. Yeah? So I prepped bits to do. Now, another question I do get asked is, well, I can't leave my crafting stuff open. You know, because it's a shared space or anything like that. In that situation, what I would do here is I would get one of the non-stick craft sheets, the brown one, put it in there, and then shut the lid. Make sure everything's flat. Okay. Put a non-stick craft sheet on there and shut the lid, because I've used Collage Medium anyway, so everything's going to dry nice and clear and matte and not shiny, and it won't stick. So that would be what I'd do. I mean, I do have some of mine non-stick craft sheets that are stuck to boards, so they're also good, to be honest, if you want to weight down. So, you know, if you want to, because you want things to go flat, it's a non-stick craft sheet on a board, so it is another good thing. But there we go. So are there any other questions for me? Oh, look, it lifted off some of my white and left little circles. That's quite cool. Okay, so plans for the rest of the week. I haven't checked my calendar. I think Sally's on tomorrow. I am on tomorrow at 2 o'clock in Crafting Together with All Brands. I will be doing some crafting there, so that would be lovely if you could join me. If not, you are able to catch up later, and I will also be putting it on the Be Crafty YouTube channel. Sam will put you a link to the channel. If you're not yet following the channel, please click subscribe when you get on there, and get all your friends to do it too, because that'd be great, because we want to run some live events on there, and that's easier with more subscribers. They like it. If you're catching up with this on YouTube, go and check out some of the other videos. There's loads. Or even better, come and join us on Try It Out Tuesday, because that way you can follow the chat at 8 PM on the Be Crafty Facebook page. There is going to be a link below. So I'm in Crafting Together with All Brands on Facebook tomorrow at 2 PM. I think Sally's on tomorrow night. I didn't check my calendar. But I'm sure she'll let us know if she is. And then Sam will be back on Friday for Chit Chat Friday. I've got quite a few things coming up that are going to be new this month that I'm going to be putting in the Be Crafty Stamps group, so also make sure you're over there. Sally, as always, has set a fantastic challenge. I'll be announcing the ATC partners, so if you haven't joined the ATC swap for May, quickly go and do that now. if you want to. But what you have to do is you have to go to the event on the ATC swap in the Be Crafty group. You have to click going, and then you have to write on it whether you're a worldwide swappee or a UK based swappee, and that's or if you're only willing to swap UK or you're only willing to swap worldwide, either way. So that's fine. And then there'll be some other stuff coming on there. There is also loads and loads of design team inspiration for nearly every stamp we have, so do go and check that out. But obviously, if you're looking for awesome step-by-step photo tutorials that are really easy to follow, then you're best at finding the Be Crafty creative team on the Be Crafty blog. Right, I think I've said everything, and now I feel like I need a drink because I've gone on for a little bit. So thank you for joining me for tonight's page. I can't lie, that's a dandy. I'm pretty chuffed with that one. So, thank you very much, guys. All right, have a fantastic rest of your evening. See you soon. Bye.